Hey everybody, welcome to Snow Talk. Brian Good here once again, mainly Storm Talk more than Snow Talk with this episode. But I have a lot to cover. And in fact, I've created probably the most amount of maps I've ever had to do for a blog, and I have only a limit of 10 minutes to get through this all. So let's move right along as quick as we can. First off, I decided to go back on the board with a one system of interest, although it may end up being two. I'll show why the 19th is included, and I'll show why the range goes to the 24th. We'll get into that here a little bit later on. All right, first off, though, look at the numbers. 57 degrees outside, 56 at Fort Knox. Now, there are signs that with clear skies now developing and lighter winds tonight, there is a chance we could see some areas get to the point where we could see some freezing fog. Look at the dry air above, but then we saturate to this white line. That's where fog is forecast to develop. And notice where the red line is. This is the temperature line, and here's the freezing mark right there. It gets awful close to us, and this is for the sounding for Louisville. So for those of you that live outside the city limits, especially north and northeast of Louisville, you may find yourselves in a situation where freezing fog may develop. Really, for the most part, ground temps relatively warm still. But if you have like an elevated bridge and overpass, I wouldn't be surprised to hear about some isolated slick spots. Not a big deal, but it is something we'll monitor, because it's the first time this season I've seen that data really show up there. So we'll keep an eye on it. Just want to throw that out there. Otherwise, as we mentioned, the skies are clearing out. Nice to see the blue sky back after a nasty Monday. Our system we're tracking for tomorrow now onshore. It's at a full model suit of data to really help it out now that it's onshore. And that has adjusted things slightly when it comes to speed and how the evolution of it is. And that's important because that's affected the outlooks. No outlook for severe weather today, but tomorrow, that's a different story. The main focus is going to be closer to the low pressure itself, which makes more sense. That's where the enhanced area is in that darker red, almost brown shaded area. The sight risk gets tighter and tighter closer to the actual daytime heating zone versus over us, because the system is slowing down, for one, by about 3 hours. Nothing drastic, but there is a chance we could see some prefrontal showers that may move in, and that's why it kind of bows out there over Indiana and Kentucky for late Wednesday night and early Thursday. Let me show you what it looks like here in Futurecast. During the day on Wednesday, we'll have some cloud cover streaming in. How thick these clouds are will determine how warm we get. We still have a chance to hit 70, but if we stay mostly cloudy, especially with the high cloud deck, we may not get out of the 60s there. But still, not a bad looking day for Wednesday. Then we get into Wednesday night, and this is when we start to feel the effects of the front moving in from our west. And you will notice by Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, ongoing severe weather. These could be very well containing several warnings with them. These have to be watched for isolated supercell action across southeast Missouri, but these are the ones that have the backing of the winds more so closer to the low, and helicity values are off the chart in that area. So we're really going to watch for isolated tornadoes with some strong winds in Illinois through St. Louis for later Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. But then, as the front gets closer to us, we're seeing signs we may see some prefrontal showers. Now, the problem is, the way the atmosphere is laid out, a lot of these will be elevated in nature, so they will have the ability to tap into those strong winds aloft that will already be moving in at this time. By 11 o'clock at night, we'll have some strong winds rolling over our heads, but these showers will not have the ability to tap into them. But they will reduce whatever instability we can try to gain out of this system. Will begin to be wiped out when the main line finally pushes in by, say, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. So, still a chance that a few of these, I mean, there could be just enough instability in a few isolated pockets here along the line that some wind damage can't be ruled out. But as far as a widespread issue, just don't see it happening, guys. It's just going to be a quick event overall for early Thursday, and then it's out of here. We may get some clouds that kind of linger behind this system as we head into Thursday. We'll look at that. I don't see much drizzle with that, but it may keep our numbers down somewhat for Thursday if those clouds hold tough a little bit longer than expected. Here, look at the wind fields. Again, this is about a mile or so above our heads, and you can see very strong wind fields. No doubt about that. We've been talking about that. But here's the problem, is the instability. It gains, good values. 500 is pretty good for the winter time frame. Your late fall, early winter scenario, 500 is usually pretty good for severe weather to take advantage of. But it's less than that along the line, but closer to the low itself. And then as we get into the overnight, barely 100, and that's west of us. by the point we get into the overnight. So you can see with the problem here. And on top of that, moisture looks limited. Our dew points may not get into the 50s across Indiana and barely into the 50, maybe close to 60 range across southwest Kentucky. And you're going to need that moisture to really cause any major ruckus when it comes to the potential for some of these storms to get a little more rooted to tap into those strong winds aloft. So I still think this area may actually have some damaging winds. You're not listed in slight risk, but I wouldn't be surprised to hear some damaging wind gusts in this area of Kentucky and western Tennessee. For us, though, I mean, moisture, again, also would be quite limited. Helicity, though, it's up there, 400 to 500, up 600, closer to the low itself. So, yeah, we've got the wind energy, and even when we look at the sounding, now I know this is kind of hard to read, but it's showing about 543 here on Helicity. So there's a lot of turning with the winds. You can see a lot of pink showing up, very strong winds, and again, just above our head. But the Cape values, again, hard to see, registering 0. So that's the reason why so we may get lucky here and not have any major issues other than some gusty winds, but we will not have the ability to really tap into all that craziness above our heads, which is good news for us. All right, now, as we head down the road here into, let's see, the weekend, there is something interesting I want to point out. It's looking chilly this weekend because we have the Vort Max, you can see it there by that X, digging in Friday into Saturday. It's really going to reinforce that cold air over the Ohio Valley. Now, what I've found interesting is that sometimes we see these vorts try to dig a little deeper sometimes into Kentucky and Indiana as we get closer. We'll see if that happens because at the moment, the best moisture we have at 700 millibars is located in the Great Lakes. And this area could see snow flurries as snowflakes fly. Looks too dry for that. In fact, based on this sounding alone, this looks like sunny skies for us for Friday and Saturday. We'll watch it. We'll see. We're close, but maybe not close enough for anything this weekend. But it is interesting, and my eyes will be on it. All right, then we head into next week. This is when our next storm system develops. Another robust system moving through here. And again, timing is spaced out enough that we're talking about Wednesdays and Thursdays being popular for storm systems. Next week looks to be the same. Another strong area of low pressure moves in and potential for heavy rain and thunderstorms. Euro's a little further south with this low compared to the GFS. But here's what's interesting. As this low moves in, this will be about the 19th for next week, is the upper low itself. The core of it is showing a pocket of cold air. And we've got to watch that. Upper level lows, dynamic cooling, could see maybe some sleet or something mixed in with that. If that low will track over us, I would say the 19th or 20th. It's a big F. I'm really stretching here on this one, guys. GFS takes the core more to the north and not an issue, but the Euro is a little more to the south. So, hey, it's something. We'll watch it. We'll see what happens. It's only one model run. Then it was weighted toward Thanksgiving. This is the one that will get us stretched out closer and closer to the end of our outlook here. GFS, it just doesn't know what to do with the northern branch energy or the southern features coming in. Very active southern branch features as well. So the GFS is kind of a mess. It looks busy for us. That we know there's going to be something going on near Thanksgiving. Just can't tell the evolution just yet. And the Euro can't see it quite out that far just yet. But it does see the ingredients for certainly cyclogenesis to be taking shape. A couple days before, the very beginning really of Thanksgiving week, we will start to see something developing here across the nation's heartland, and there's plenty of cold air behind it. It's a matter of how does that evolve as we head toward Thanksgiving. So our confidence meter on that is probably going to be only a 2 right now on how that's going to evolve. But that's the only thing I see. I get a chance to show another map I had in here. I wanted to, but I will say this. A couple things real quick. Anything that we get wintry that could happen Thanksgiving week, or even a couple days after that, I don't think it's going to be any sign of winter has arrived. I think it's going to be a temporary event. I think we are going to see things warm back up again in December, and the latest indices are starting to hint we're to warm things back up. So this would only be just a teaser that we could see. Last year we saw a teaser on the 17th of November. It gave us 3 to 3.5 inches of snow here in Louisville, the 17th of November last year. But we also had a recurving typhoon last year that took place on the 9th of November that really helped induce that deep trough for us for the 11th or the 17th last year. This year, the Western Pacific, when I just checked the satellite image, it's quiet. There's no typhoons. So it's going to be much harder to get deep troughs in here this time around, guys. So anything that we get wintry is going to be probably just some dynamic cooling from upper lows, and that's about it. Otherwise, we're going to have to wait until we see a true pattern flip, and I just don't see that happening until mid or late winter. Between now and then, we're just going to have chance events that could take place. So I know for snow lovers, you're not excited about that, but keep in mind, guys, we've got to get that snow cover built up here to our north, and that'll be good for us later if you're a snow fan. You don't want to waste it too early.